at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe the only other thing that they get concerned with is along the same lines of a clean show is whether you treat the children well, you know, whether you're going to whether you can deal with them well, you know, not cause them to cry. That kind of stuff,
funny.
You
well,
know?
you know,
because I've seen shows where that happens.
It's so funny that. Like, what if you got into a fight with a child?
With a child.
How weird is that? Like,
I've only ever seen that happen.
Sit down
on the street, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But yeah, that's. I mean, you know, these are things that before you go out and perform for kids, you should already be, punctual. You know, you should already have written your material so that your material is appropriate for kids. You know, these are things you should already consider.
Yeah.
And if you follow David's advice, you'll have interactions per minute that will keep them interested, so you won't have to worry about that. Now, you've been doing this a long time, and like you said, you've established a reputation where now 95% of the time they're just happy to get you. Are you available? Yes, please. Can we get these Silly Billy, right? When you first started out, a lot of word of mouth there. Has your marketing changed a lot? I mean, how do you market now? Is it all referral, or do you still keep up with it?
It's all referral.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did you do early on to market?
Well, you know, when I was street performing, being out in the street and being seen by people was how I got, you know, the question is how do you start? How do you build a practice? Like if you were to, how do you build? Well, you got to get some people started, and then
people have to see
then theoretically it snowballs if you're doing a good job. So I street performed for 3 years, and during that period, you know, I would have one show, let's say, on a weekend, then I had one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and then I had two and one and two and two, and then eventually I stopped street performing. But I built up my client base by being exposed to people seeing me do my street show. And I'll tell you, you know, in my marketing lecture, I talk about this. Every show that you do is a commercial, or I call it an infomercial, because it's partly it's entertaining, but it's also informational. But every show you do is a commercial to get booked to do another show.
Yeah, or more.
Right. So, you know, let's say someone said to me, and this goes right to the question that you asked. Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to perform in front of 30 6-year-old kids.
Like right now.
Yeah, right now. 30 kids. And I'm going to let you perform for an hour. And you have to try to make them want you to come to their birthday party. And I will pay you to do that. That's a great deal. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
30 potential customers?
Yeah.
So every time you do a show, what you want to do, hopefully, is implant the idea in every kid's mind that they can have you come to their birthday, and then they will float in the air, or they will get they will get chosen for every trick, or whatever your hook is. But you want them to go home and say, "Mommy, I want Silly Billy at my party." Yes, everybody should go home and say, "Mommy, I want Silly Billy." Not the individual people who are watching.
Right.
I mean, when you people watching, make them call me. Okay? Because I need the work.
Yeah, when you do your show, make them want Silly Billy.
I want Silly. That's my point, exactly. They should go home and say, "I want Silly Billy," even though he lives nowhere near us.
Nowhere near us.
But
let me talk about that, because that just brings up something. Don't be Silly Billy. Don't be an imitator.
Yeah,
okay?
don't be an imitator.
Because anybody that gets a good reputation, especially a costumed character, deals with that all the time. Find your own way. Your own way is better than his way. His way is the best way for him.
Right.
You know, so find your own way.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about if somebody is marketing in an unknown area, they're not known at all. How do they start? Do you have a suggestion? If they're because you know you're in the city.
Yeah.
So what if they're not? What if they're in a small area somewhere?
I'll tell you the answer. The answer is still what the category that I would call it is do a free show.
Yeah.
Now, when I say do a free show, a lot of people get all upset because they're going to drive the price down, and you have to be a professional. But you know what? When you first get to a new place, people have to see you. It's one thing to have an ad, it's a good thing to have an ad. It's a good thing to have a website with a video of you on the website.
Good thing to maybe get an agent.
But you know what? There are ways of doing free shows, even if you don't live in New York City. You could call up every school and say, okay, what is it? And say, I want to do a free show. I want to do a Christmas. I want to do a show
the day
to
before
celebrate.
Christmas break.
Yeah,
Something
Christmas
like that.
break show. Like the last day or the last week of the school year. I want to do a show in your school for free. You don't have to pay for it. The only thing I ask is that when the kids go home, they go home with my flyer and they take it home. And this is a free show, but if there's 100 kids in the school or 500 kids in the school, you're advertising to you're doing a commercial for all these kids. Your target audience is right there. So you can do free shows by doing shows in school, calling up schools, calling up libraries, saying you want to do a free show. You could call a mall. The mall is the street performing for the rest of the country. If you don't have people out in the streets, they're all in the malls. So you can call the mall, the management of the mall, and say you want to do a free show on Saturdays at 2 o'clock. But when they advertise, they have to put your name in the ad. You know, come see a free show. Don't say, if you ever do this, make sure they don't say see the magician at 2 o'clock. They should say see Silly Billy at 2 o'clock. Use my name also, so that their expectations are high, and then they'll see you. And
now I started out in my very small town market, volunteering for nursing homes.
Nice.
For any like social club function, like for the VFW or the Kiwanis, the Rotary Club, whatever we have, for a whole year.
Yeah.
Volunteering.
Yeah.
And that's it. And after that, I had established that I was for hire, and I didn't have to volunteer anymore.
That's right.
And I got to work out my chops. My act was up.
You got to be bad in a different market, no less than your
I'll tell you what,
market.
you don't have to be really good in a nursing home. No. And it's nothing against them, because they are very happy to be entertained. Imagine that for yourself. If you're in a nursing home day in and day out, there is nothing much to do except play cards and talk to the other people that are in the nursing home. That's basically what they're doing. So the fact that they got free entertainment of any caliber is fantastic. So I'm telling you,
and you can be bad there as well.
And you can work. It's not the best ever, but they're still going to applaud. They're still going to love it. Everybody's still going to thank you. It makes you feel really good because you've done a service for your community.
And while you were talking, I thought of another place to do free shows. You could do walk around in a restaurant. Now you should charge for that, but you don't have to charge first time out.
Not first
Say,
time.
I'll do it for free, just for tips, on Tuesdays, whatever. But there's a way to get exposed, especially if you choose the restaurant that's a family restaurant, got a lot of kids coming. If you want to be a kids show guy, you do that. If you want to do corporate, you do an elegant restaurant, with tablecloths.
Do you do any balloon animal twisting at all?
I do some balloons in my show, but I don't twist
You don't
animals.
twist them.
No, I make balloon figures, but I don't make a balloon for every kid.
For every child. Because that was one thing I was just going to add onto that. If somebody does do balloon twisting, it is so easy to get a walk-around gig at a restaurant just doing balloons and handing out your business card with each one of them. And you will get so much business that way.
That's right. That's right. There's no excuse. That's exactly
absolutely.
right.
There isn't. There is. So it's pretty easy if you enjoy performing to just get out there and start doing it.
I think so.
Is really what you want to do. So when you did your first magic show at age 6.
No, I saw my first.
You saw your first magic show. Sorry, when you saw your first magic show at age 6. Tell me about that experience. You told me to ask you about it, and I know nothing except that.
Yeah.
So do you remember who it was?